Hello, welcome. Hello, we've got a little bit of a different setup today. I think we're good. We're just checking it out. Awesome. Okay. Hello, welcome. We are live on Instagram and we just opened up the Zoom. Hello, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining in. If you're watching this live, hello, give a wave. Really appreciate everyone tuning in on this gorgeous, beautiful New England day. I've been complaining about rain for so long, and now we finally have sunshine. So that's what we're celebrating today. Today's class is going to be an awesome, fast-paced power flow, just kind of a all over back to basics. One of my favorite sequences to teach. So it's going to be a really, really nice balance to everything else we've been doing that's been a little bit more skills-based, a little bit more tuned in towards peak poses and advancing our practice. This is a nice, everybody enjoys favorite. So we're going to start today's class actually a little differently than we normally do, in a child's pose, but that half tortoise child's pose that I've really been liking lately. So the difference is, instead of wide legs, you're going to be pressing your thighs and your knees together. And as you inhale, you have that nice long spine, and then exhale to fold over your lap, bringing your forehead down to the mat in front of you. And then instead of reaching arms out long, the difference is you reach the arms back towards the back of your space. The tops of your hands press down into the mat, so palms face up. And you can just find us in that posture as I go over a couple of things in the beginning of the class, and as we let a few more folks trickle in and join us on their mats. In that child's pose, in that half tortoise child's pose, as always, we start this class and every class focusing on the breath. I'd like to invite you to choose one of three breath practices to center yourself and to ground yourself here as you listen to the announcements. So there's three different ones. The first one is they're all my favorites, honestly. Who am I kidding? But the first one is called Vox Breathing. So it's the idea of inhaling for a count of 4, holding it at the top for a count of 4, exhaling for the count of 4, and then holding empty for the count of 4, and then repeating that. So inhaling for 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, holding for 4 Mississippi, exhaling for 4 Mississippi, and then holding completely empty for 4 Mississippi, and then restarting that again. So if you're interested in that one, you can start taking that on your own right now, one breath at your own pace. I was going to say one breath, one movement, but for this early part of class, you can just find this posture and settle into it. No need to move. With each inhale, maybe you think about your backside body expanding a little wider out towards the sides. And with each exhale, maybe sinking hips down more towards the heels. The second option for a breath exercise is 4, 7, and 8 count breathing, which is similar to box breathing. The difference is you inhale for 4, you hold for 7, you exhale for 8 counts, and then there's no holding empty. You just inhale for 4 counts again. If you're a person, I find that I'm a person who I tend to get a little bit anxious when I'm holding my breath empty. For some reason, that part of the cycle always gets to me. And some days I'm having a day where you want to challenge that. It's a nice mental exercise to do something that makes you a little bit uncomfortable like that. But other days I just don't feel like it. So I do more 4, 7, and 8 count. If you're finding you want a little bit more of a relaxing breath, you can go for that one. And then the last version is more energizing than these first two. It's the Ujjayi breath. So with this one, there's no counting, but it's the idea of constricting your lungs, or constricting your throat rather, breathing in through your nose, and it's like you can really constrict your throat and you will hear yourself inhale. And then same thing on the exhale, you keep that throat constricted as you exhale. So your breath sounds like the ocean, like a wave coming in and crashing to shore. And you might take that style of breath with one of the two counting styles of breath, but I encourage you to choose one, maybe play with a couple of combos, and then settle into one and really commit to it. And then after a couple of breaths, don't worry about whether you wish you picked a different one or anything like that. Just commit 100% to this style of breath. There will be other yoga classes in the future to play with other ones, I'm sure. But here, again, trying to inhale all along the length of your spine. Really hold that breath, not just in your lung space, but all along your backside body, into your belly. Feel your belly press down into your thighs. Feel your low back, your sacrum area expand up towards the sky. And keep breathing with this conscious pace. I'm going to go over a couple of quick announcements, and notice if you lose count or you lose the focus on the breath, just bring it back. A little bit of an early meditative practice here. Other than that, a few things we always mention at the top of class. If you'd like to put on music, you're welcome to do it on your end. I'm going to cue this class without music because I want everyone to be able to hear me. But if you have a playlist that you like to rock to, now's the time to throw it on and get your volume levels straight. Other than that, the other big caveat with all of these types of classes is please, please, please be careful and conscious of your own practice. If you feel that you have are in a posture that you're not familiar with that might cause you injury, please back out of that posture, take a resting pose, shoot me a message after. I'm happy to talk through what it might have been that caused that issue for you. And other than that, we're going to be moving on from this early initial posture soon. So in this early posture, maybe think about rocking hips back and forth just a little bit in this little kind of like rounded half tortoise or like eggy style shape. Rocking hips side to side, rotating forehead left and right on the mat. And then you're going to slowly walk fingertips back up underneath shoulders. Inhale to roll your spine up, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae. Head comes up last. We're coming to sit on our heels, on our hips. Fingertips walk back underneath shoulders. Inhale for a long spine, maybe tucking the chin just a little bit. And then exhale to sink hips down into the mat. From here, we're going to spin our fingertips back towards the back side of our space and bring them out about 6 inches behind you. We're going to rock backwards onto like the tops of our toes or the tops of the knuckles of our toes. It's a little bit of a stretch of the top of the ankle. So we're just rocking our weight. Our knees are going to float up off of the mat. We're trying to keep that chest, that heart space puffed up towards the front of our space, and then exhale, let the knees float back down. And then from here, on your next exhale, you're going to press your hips forward towards the front of your space. So we're inhaling as we push our chest up higher towards the top of our space, maybe looking up or maybe even back here, taking 2 more breaths to really stretch out that front side hip area. Big breath here, and then exhale, let the hips come back down to the mat. Again, maybe you readjust the fingertips. We're going to go into that ankle stretch again, so rocking back onto the tops of our feet. Inhale, send the breath to the front of our feet. Crazy area to stretch. We very rarely stretch this area. Exhale, let the shins come back down. Inhale, puff up the chest and push those hips towards the front of your space again. Inhale, big breath, little bit of a back bend here. Inhale to look back, and then exhale, sink hips down. Inhale, lift those knees up off of the mat. I don't know if you guys can see, I got a big old bumblebee here. We have a friend for this class. Exhale, knees come back down. Last one, inhale, puff up your chest. Sink your hips forward towards the front of your space. Open heart space towards the sky. And then exhale, sink hips back down. Walk fingertips forward, roll forward onto your thighs. Coming back into that child's pose, but with palms reaching forward this time towards the front of your mat. Just a little bit of a counter stretch to that back bend, really folding forward. Again, check in with the breath. Maybe find that breath cycle that we built earlier on in class. So your box breathing for 4, 7, and 8, or ujjayi breath. Choose whichever one it is, and then exhale. Come forward onto tabletop position, palms underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips, fingertips spread nice and wide onto the mat. And then from here, inhale, drop the belly, roll shoulders up and back, look up. Exhale, round through the spine, come into that cat pose, out arching the spine, really tucking tailbone, dropping the weight of the head, and then inhaling into cow, exhaling back into cat, taking it on your own, your breath, your movement. Now we start to marry the breath to the movement. So each inhale, you move. Each exhale, you move again. And as you find that pace, maybe the movement itself becomes a little bit more fluid. Maybe you become a little bit experimental with it, swaying side to side, rocking back and forth, forward and back, rolling shoulders back and down. Take a few more breaths here just to start to warm up in this hip space. And then from here, for today, just tuck your toes and push back, downward facing dog. First downward facing dog of class. You can pedal it out, bending one knee and then the other, maybe lifting one leg and then the other. Coming up onto tippy toes or taking little hops. Just checking in with the breath and the movement today. And then we're gonna set it up. So feet come about hips width distance. Look back at your feet. Hips width distance is about the width of your head, or about the length of a dollar bill. Somebody told me is about average hips width distance. Look back, see if it looks about right. Maybe toe heel them out a little wider or a little closer together. And then we're gonna actually measure it. So keep your feet exactly where they are and walk your hands back to your feet. Don't move the feet. We wanna see how accurate our judge of hips width distance is. So you're gonna bring two fists together, thumbs in towards each other. You're gonna bend your knees a lot and you're gonna place those fists between the arches of your feet on the mat. If your feet are hips width distance, you should have like a giant letter H right there on the mat. The feet are the vertical bars, and then the hands, those two fists, are the bridge between. If you need to toe heel your feet in a little closer so they buffer up against the sides of your fists, do that now, or maybe you have to toe them out a little wider. Check in with yourself. Take a look at what this looks like. That's hips width distance, true hips width distance on the mat. It's often a little bit more different than the way aerobics classes or like weightlifting will categorize hips width distance. So that's our yoga hips width distance, anatomical. From there, you're gonna keep your feet exactly where they are, and you're gonna walk your hands out to upper push-up plank position. Upper push-up plank position, we want the palms right under the shoulders. We want the fingers spread super wide on the mat. We're pressing into all of the finger pads. Our heels are floating right above the balls of our feet. Our shoulders are above the wrists, or maybe even a little in front above the palms is where I like to say. Helps distribute the weight between the hands so all of the weight doesn't get dumped in the wrists if you just roll your shoulders forward about 1 inch in front of your wrists. And then from there, legs are super straight, back is super straight, tailbone tucks a little bit down towards the heels to feel the abs engage. Woo, it's core work here. And then exhale, keeping hands and feet exactly where they are. You're gonna press back, bending knees to come back into downward facing dog. Don't move your hands or your feet. That's the length of your downward facing dog. It's often a lot longer than folks think. From here, a few last adjustments. Bend your knees a lot. Bring your belly to rest on your thighs. Point your tailbone up towards the sky. Keep that rotation in the hips, and then start to straighten through the legs. Let heels come down towards the ground. Keep that alignment in your hips. It doesn't matter if your legs are straight. It doesn't matter if your heels touch the ground in downward facing dog. It matters if you have a straight spine and if you're trying to press your heart towards your shins to shine your tailbone up more towards the sky. That is the adjustment in downward facing dog. And then last one, we're rotating elbows back and down towards the back of your space. So it's like your elbows are pointing back towards your knees. You're gonna see that that adjustment really lights up your triceps and all along your intercostal muscles, all along the side body. All of a sudden, downward facing dog posture gets a lot harder, right? Inhale, big full breath to sink the heels back towards the ground. And then from here, exhale, right leg kicks straight back towards the back of your space. Inhale to kick that leg nice and long, and then point toes and exhale to stack right hip on top of left and make some big opening circles with that right side leg. And while we start to warm up this right side hip, check in on your shoulders and your hands and your wrists. Are you dumping all of the weight into one side? Try to square your hips down towards the mat, distributing the weight evenly between them, pressing into all finger pads of the hands to make sure that we're not dumping the weight into the wrists. And then take those circles with the toe in the opposite direction. So if you've been going all clockwise, take it counterclockwise, or vice versa. For one more breath. And then on your next inhale, inhale that right leg super long, and then exhale, just let the right leg come back down to the mat. From here, inhale, left leg kicks straight back towards the back of your space, and then exhale to point left toe, and then stack that left hip on top of right, opening up left hip towards the left side of your space, but keeping shoulders squared down towards the mat as you start to make circles with that left side leg, with that left toe, trying to make them really big. See if you, when you sweep that left leg around towards the right side of your space, if you can get it out even wider towards the right. See how that opens up a little bit more of a hip stretch for you. And then if you've been going all one way, this is your cue. You have a few breaths to take it in the opposite direction. If you've been going counterclockwise, it's your chance to go clockwise, or vice versa. And then inhale, left leg super straight towards the back of your space. Exhale, just float it down. Awesome. From here, look forward towards your hands and take lots of teeny tiny steps towards the top of your mat. Teeny tiny, slow little itty bitty steps towards the top of your mat. The one who gets there last wins. There's no reason to rush it. We're meeting at a forward fold, the top of our mat. Your feet are gonna find hips width distance again. So you might wanna bend your knees and bring those 2 fists together. Measure it out, see how close you were this second time. And then from here, inhale, half lift, flat back, straight spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, biceps by the ears, look up, maybe even a little bit back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Step left foot back, and then right, and then pause in an upward push-up plank. Keep a nice long straight spine. Really engage through the legs. We're gonna set up the first option for the flow. So option 1 is to take caterpillar. The caterpillar pose, you're gonna bring knees, chest, and chin down to the mat, but thumb is gonna point up towards the sky, getting a little bit of a back bend here, and then inhaling to press hips through. Hips come down to the ground, chest raises up towards the front of your space, puffing up through your heart space, so much so that your ribs start to peel up off the ground. And then exhale over bent legs, coming back into downward facing dog. Awesome. From here, inhale to let your heels sink down deeper towards the mat. Check in with your alignment. Are your feet hips width distance? Are you pointing your tailbone up towards the sky? Are you rotating your elbows back towards your knee? Take a big all breath here, And then exhale to sink a little bit farther into the posture. And then inhale to look forward towards the top of your space. And now try to make it 3 giant steps to get to the top of your mat. 1, 2, 3. If it has to be 4 or 5, it's no big deal. We're just warming up. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, biceps by the ears. Look up, maybe even a little bit back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, press the palms. Step right foot back this time, then left. We're gonna give another option for the flow. So this one, knees come down to the mat again, but we're gonna take lower push-up plank. The difference is chest and chin don't come down before hips. Chest and chin stay in line with hips. Elbows hug in towards the ribs. You come down halfway, getting a 90-degree angle in that elbow as elbows rub up against your ribs, super tight in the body. We're not doing a military style push-up. We're doing a yogi style push-up. Coming down halfway, and then you're inhaling to puff your chest forward into a modified upward facing dog. So knees are down on the ground, tops of the feet rather, are down on the ground, but we're puffing up our chest forward towards the front of our space. It's a little bit like a cobra pose, a full cobra, as we puff up our heart towards the front of the room. And then exhale, coming over, bent knees again, tucking toes, pressing back into downward facing dog. Awesome. Again, check in on that downward facing dog alignment. Have you lost track of it in any way? Are your elbows pointing out towards the sides? Really rotate them back. Really press your heart towards your shin. Inhale to look forward towards your hands. Exhale, look back towards your toes. Bring your 2 toes together in the mat. So big toes together, heels together. You've got one big long tree trunk of a leg. And then walk those toes in more forward towards the top of your mat, about 4 inches is a good place to start. From there, bend your knees, sink your hips back towards the back of your space, look forward towards your hands, big inhale, and then on the exhale, you're gonna hop your feet together between your hands. You're gonna toe heel your feet out about hips width distance. You could always measure it from here. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, press the palms, left foot steps back, then right. We've got another version of the flow here. So this time you might choose to keep your knees up as you come down halfway, coming into that 90-degree angle in the lower push-up plank or the chaturanga, and then inhaling to press your chest forward, rolling onto the tops of your feet, but pressing so much into the tops of your feet that your knees float up off of the mat as you keep inhaling your chest forward towards the front of the space, and then exhaling back into downward facing dog, rolling over your toes, checking in on your alignment. And then from here, you've got your own choice. You're welcome to take the hop to the top of the mat, or if you want a nice slow crawl, if you want a more challenging hop, maybe you bring those toes together and you don't walk them forward any few inches. You just inhale to look forward and then exhale. See if you can get that jump there. See if you get a little closer this time. Toe heeling the feet out, hips width distance. Inhaling, half lift, flat back. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, biceps by the ears. Mountain pose, look up, reach up, maybe a little bit back. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the palms. Right foot steps back, then left. You've got whichever version of the flow you like. And there's a fourth option always available. It's a child's pose, a wide leg child's pose, or that half tortoise child's pose. Whichever one you like, you're always welcome to take it in instead of any flow or as a break in the middle of class whenever you need it. Otherwise, we're inhaling to press back into downward facing dog, exhaling to sink our heels down into the mat. Inhale, right leg kicks back towards the back of your space, nice and long, and then exhale, replace right hand with right foot, rotate back heel, comes down, rise up, warrior one, right side. We're sinking nice and low, 90-degree angle in that front knee. Back leg is super straight, arms reach up, biceps by the ears, elbows straight. If you have to bring the arms out wider to get straight elbows, do that. Give yourself that openness in the heart space. Trying to square hips towards the front of your space. The more you square the hips, the more challenging the posture gets, the more it's working. We're trying to pull that right hip back to negotiate that left hip forward. One more deep breath here, and then exhale, plant the palms inside of right foot, kick right foot back. Maybe fifth secret version of the flow, you keep that right leg up off of the mat as you come down halfway, and then press forward into upward facing dog. Just a little bit of extra core work to play with if it so suits you. Inhale, left leg kicks straight back towards the back of your space. Exhale, left foot replaces left hand, right heel rotates down. Inhale, we rise up, warrior one, left side. Same thing applies, it's just the opposite side. So back toes are pointing towards the top right corner of your mat. So they're pointing on a little bit of a diagonal, not straight out towards the side, a little bit forward here. And then you're really trying to rotate the weight to the outside edge of those back toes to help square the hips more towards the front of your space. They're gonna want to open up towards the right side. It's easier for them. We're building that strength and flexibility with this posture to keep steering them more forward towards the front of your space. Maybe bring just right arm down towards the front and drag those right hands, just the right hands, more forward. Right hand drags right shoulder, drags right hip. Feel that alignment. Press into the pinky side edge of right foot, and then let right hand come back up. Hold it. Inhale, puff up your breath chest. Exhale, plant the palms, step the left foot back, and move through a flow. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. I don't know if you guys can see the neighbor kids are really liking this practice. We've got an audience. Inhale, right leg kicks back. Exhale, right foot replaces right hand on the mat. Inhale, rise up. You've got that warrior one. We've been here before. We're not going to stay long. We're opening up to warrior two. So we're maybe coming into a little bit of a longer stance here, reaching right fingertips forward and left fingertips back. This time hips are squared towards the left side of your space, and those left toes are now pivoted straight out towards the left side. So if you look back at your left foot is parallel to the back of your mat. From there, looking over right shoulder, looking along the length of middle finger on the body, sinking a little lower into the lunge, and then exhaling to windmill the palms down to the mat. Inhale to move through your flow. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. And then we'll inhale, left leg kicks straight back towards the back of your space. Exhale, left foot replaces left hand. Right heel rotates down. Inhale, rise up. Warrior one, left side. We've been here before. Exhale, peel open. Warrior two, left side. From here, sink a little lower into that lunge. Really stretch through those lifted fingers. Looking over left shoulder. Think about tucking tailbone, left tailbone, down to knit in the two lowest ribs. So we don't want to puff out our chest in this pose and arch our spine. We really want to keep engaging through the core, sitting a little lower, looking over those left fingertips for one more breath. And then exhale, windmill the hands down, step back, and move through a flow. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg kicks straight back towards the back of your space. Exhale, replace right hand with right foot. Rotate back, heel down, rise up. Warrior one, right side. Exhale, peel open. Warrior two, right side. From here, we build. Inhale, rotate that top hand up towards the sky. Reach it forward, forward, forward. We're going for that peaceful warrior. You know where we're going. You can rotate back, that high lunge, right side. Right arm reaches straight up towards the sky. Big, full breath here. And then exhale, windmill the palms, step the right foot back, and move through a flow. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. Amazing. We're going to even that out on the left side. Inhale, left leg kicks straight back. Exhale, left foot replaces left hand, rotate back, heel down, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, peel open, warrior two, left side. And then from here, flipping just left palm up towards the sky, reaching forward, forward, forward. Really reach. Don't just tilt your upper body. Let your left fingertips lead you. The transitions are the practice, right? So we don't just move through them. We move with control. There, yeah, nice strength building work. And then we stay low in that lunge as we lift left fingertips high up towards the sky, really sinking low in that left leg, but reaching up with left fingertips so you get that stretch all the way through. I feel it in my triceps, all the way through the left side body, all the way into that hinge of that left hip. You really feel it as you puff up that side of the body, and then exhale, windmill the palms, step left foot back and move through a flow. Home it back in downward facing dog. Awesome. From here, toe heel the feet together and then take them in maybe 3 or 4 inches. We're going to do another one of those hops. So bend the knees, sink the hips backwards, look forward towards the front of your space. Inhale, and then on the exhale, use the breath to help you meet at the top of the mat. Forward fold. From here, keep your toes and your heels together. Inhale, half lift, flat back with this long tree trunk of a leg. Exhale, forward fold. And then from here, inhale, sink the hips back, reach the arms forward. We're in a chair pose. Almost said child's pose there. Big difference. So you're sinking the hips back, super straight spine, knees and thighs pressed together to help you get a little lower into this posture. This posture gets harder with 2 things happening. 1, sinking hips back, and 2, tucking tailbone under. So you're reaching as far as you can with your fingertips, but the tucking of the tailbone under is going to mean knitting in those 2 lowest ribs and really engaging through the core here. And then check and see if your shoulders are all bunched up near your ears. Really relax them down. Maybe open up the arms a little wider towards the sides. We're holding this chair pose for gosh darn ever. Inhale, 1 more full breath. Exhale, release. I know. And I can see the devil eyes, even over live stream Zoom. I know it's a long chair pose, but we're nice and warm now. So inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the palms. Maybe you step or jump back, move through your flow. We'll meet back in a downward facing dog. From here, inhale, toe heel the feet together. Maybe instead of 4 inches, you walk them up only 3 inches this time. Sink your hips back. See if you can hop to the top of your mat silently or a little bit more quiet than usual. From here, we've got that forward fold. Inhale, half lift, realign the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sink the hips back, rise up, chair pose. Round 2. I know, everyone was like, there's only 1. Yay, hallelujah. Now you're like, dang, there is gonna be 3 after all. Good things come in 3s, and chair poses come in 3s too. It's just the way it works. Sink the hips down, try to tuck the tailbone. Maybe rotate pinkies in towards your face, really rotating them in so it's kind of like you're about to high five someone behind you to see how that opens up the shoulders. We're the shortest person in the room from the waist down, but we're the tallest person in the room from the waist up. Yes, nice contradiction there. And then maybe see if you can release a little bit of tension from somewhere in your body that you don't need it. Are you scrunching the toes, your toes down to the mat? Are you really like tensing through your shoulder blades? Relax them down and away. 1 more big breath to sink a little bit lower, and then exhale, forward fold. Awesome. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the palms. You know what this is. It's the flow. Make it a little bit more energetic. Check back in with your breath. Maybe take it a little slower and a little bit more consciously, or a little bit quicker than normal. You've got 1 more of those hops. So you can bring your toes and your heels together, bend the hips back towards the back of your space, and then trying to do it as lightly and as silently as possible. We're jumping our feet towards the top of our mat. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sink the hips down, reach the arms forward. Last chair pose. I'm doing them with you. We're trying to sink down, 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 and then tuck the tailbone to really engage through the low abs. Really open up the heart space. Elbows super straight, fingers super straight. Sinking nice and low. Taking another deep breath here to get even a little bit lower. And then exhale slowly with control, coming forward into that forward fold. Toe heel your feet out, hips width distance, and then bring the hands to interlace at the base of your spine. If you've got that interlacing, maybe start to straighten through the elbows. If you have straightness in the elbows, maybe trying to bring the heels of the hands to touch. If you've got all of that, maybe letting that fist rock forward towards the front of your space, really opening up through the shoulders, opening up through the heart space. You can bend your knees here. It is often like if you've got the fist and it feels pretty good, I often recommend bending your knees and bringing your belly to rest in your thighs. It's a little bit more of a low back opener. You can start there and then decide if you want to straighten legs, keeping that rotation for one more breath, and then exhale, release. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the palms, step the feet back, move through a flow. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg kicks straight towards the back of your space. Exhale, right foot replaces right hand. Inhale, left heel rotates down. Rise up, warrior one. We were here before. And then exhale, peel open, warrior two. From here, inhale, bring that right elbow down towards the right thigh. We're gonna come into a side angle posture. So left arm reaches up and then over the ear towards the front of your space. So now hips are open towards the left side. Left arm reaches towards the front of your space. You're looking up under left armpit towards the sky. You're using the pressure of right elbow onto right thigh to open up your heart space more towards the ceiling. Big full breath here. And then maybe taking a core strengthener, floating right arm up off of your thigh. So you've got two straight arms, like you're holding a giant beach ball above your head. You're trying to keep those two arms in line, trying to keep one big long line of energy from the top of your head all the way down your spine, through your left leg, all the way through your left heel, continuing to rotate your heart over towards the left, maybe even up towards the sky. Take one more big breath here, and then exhale, left hand comes down to the mat, right arm comes up. To come into this posture, you might be fine with your back heel still on the mat. We're coming into like a deep side twist. You might need to float your back heel up off of the mat. You might need to bring your back knee down to the mat to come farther into the twist. Decide which one you're at today. Looking up over lifted fingertips. And then exhale, coming a little farther into it. We're gonna come into this nice deep twist, and then exhale, right hand comes down inside of right foot. Now this time left arm reaches up towards the sky, coming into that deep side angle, left side. Coming nice and low. Maybe you have to come back into that supported side angle with the elbow on the right side. One more breath, and then exhale back into that twist. Just opening up through this, through the lower back here. Awesome, looking up over lifted shoulder. Think if you come a little farther into it, maybe think about that twist starting from beneath the navel, and then exhale, right palm inside of right foot, and then snake that right hand underneath and around, so right fingertips come to the front of right ankle. Interlacing your fingers at the front of your ankle. So again, your heel might be down, Your heel might be up, so you might be on the ball of your left foot. You might have your back knee down. Whichever version it is, try not to put weight into your forearms or elbows here. We really want just our feet and maybe our knee to be taking the weight of this posture so that the upper body can relax. You're rounding the upper body. You're letting the weight of the head drop down towards the mat. You're looking up at your own belly button, really getting into that cat spine as you try to negotiate your right shoulder more under your right thigh. Eventually, head comes underneath right thigh, if it's a good day. Take one more breath wherever you are, and then exhale, unwind, bring that right hand back down inside right foot, or move back into that supported side angle with left arm up towards the sky. Either way, looking up over left shoulder and then dropping left hand down and behind the back, going for the half bind. Even if you don't normally go for it, try it out today. Just bringing the top arm down behind the back, then snaking right arm underneath and around. Got the half bind there. If you have that grip, then you're using the torque of your right elbow into right leg to negotiate your heart more open towards the sky. Take one more breath here in this full bind if you have it, and then exhale, gently release, plant the palms, kick that right foot back towards the back of your space, and then exhale to move through the flow. We'll even that out on the left side here. So inhale, the left leg kicks straight back towards the back of your space. Exhale, left foot replaces left hand. Inhale, rise up, warrior one, left side. Exhale, peel open, warrior two, left side. Awesome. From here, inhaling to pivot, left elbow down to left thigh, right arm reaches up and then over towards the front of your space, coming into that supported side angle posture. Reaching right fingertips towards the front of your space, right elbow super straight, really using that left elbow on left thigh to pivot your heart space more up towards the sky, looking up over lifted fingertips. Take one more breath here to really twist and breathe through right side body. And then exhale, moving into the core strengthener, if you'd like, floating left arm up off of left leg. So you've got two arms reaching forward towards the front of your space. And then check and see if you're tilting your heart space down towards the ground. Really negotiate that heart space back up towards the right side of your room or your backyard or wherever you're at. Reaching fingertips super long, elbows stay straight, really continuing to try to rotate heart even more up towards the sky as you stay low in that lunge. Deep core work here, one more breath, and then exhale, we're coming out down with right arm, coming into that twist. So right palm comes down to the mat. That might mean that back heel comes up or back knee comes up, but left arm is peeling up towards the sky, coming into that twist. So left arm reaches up towards the sky. You're trying to press into right hand on the mat to get your right shoulder closer towards your left knee. Opening up through this twist. Thinking about this twist, starting from beneath the navel, see if that helps you get a little bit more into the spine. One more breath, and then exhale. Left palm comes down, right palm reaches up, coming into a non-supported side angle. You might need to bring that left elbow back up to your thigh. That's totally okay. Wherever you are, looking up over lifted shoulder. Take a big breath here. Sink the hips a little bit farther down into that lunge, and then exhale. Right palm comes down to the mat. Left palm is down on the mat. We're going to come into that twist. So you're going to sneak your left arm under and around your left leg. So it's like left arm comes straight under and then snake it around so fingertips are on the front of your left ankle. Then right fingertips come to interlace with them. So it's like you're wearing your left leg as a backpack. Again, you might need to bring your right heel up off the mat or your right knee down to the mat to get into this posture. If you're in the posture, you're trying to sink your hips forward towards the front of the space as you round through the spine. Let all of the weight of the head drop down towards the spine. Look up at your own belly button. Maybe trying to negotiate more of that shoulder underneath that leg. For one more breath, wherever you are, and then exhale to unravel. Left palm comes down to the mat, right arm sweeps up, looking up over right shoulder. That half bind is available to you if you like. Right arm comes down behind the back, left arm snakes up and under, grabbing for right fingertips, looking up and over right shoulder. This time we're using left elbow, pressing into left knee to really rotate us up more towards the sky. Take 2 more nice smooth cycles of breath here. And then when it's time for your third, slowly and with control, releasing the bind, pressing palms into the mat and stepping that left leg back as you move through the flow. Amazing work. That's a really challenging sequence. We're meeting back in downward facing dog at the back of our mat. And again, take a few breaths here. Check in with the alignment. Alignment heavy class. So are your feet hips width distance? Is your heart space pressing back toward your shins? Are you rotating your elbows back towards the back of your space? Check in with all of that. And then toe heel the feet together. Bend the knees a lot. Look forward towards the front of your mat and take that hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae, come to a standing position at the top of your mat. Got time for a couple balancing postures here. So we're gonna start with a tree pose. So everyone, we're gonna start with right knee comes halfway up, right foot stays flexed, right knee is gonna come out towards the side. Man, we got a road rager out today. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I don't know, people can't hear it, okay. Bring the right heel to the inside of left inseam, either on the thigh or the shin or the ankle. Really press it into that leg, wherever it fits, anywhere except for the knee. We don't want to put pressure on that knee joint in a direction it's not meant to take it in. So wherever you are, really pressing that heel into that leg, pivoting open the knee towards the side of your space, pressing palm into palm, relaxing shoulders back and down, maybe finding something on the wall that's not moving to focus on before you extend arms up and out like the branches of your tree. And then just a couple of things to check in on here. Number one, is your tailbone pointed up and back, or is it pointed down towards your heel? We really, 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 in this pose again, wanna tuck our tailbone down towards our standing heel, engaging through the abdomen again, always. Won't stop talking about it. We wanna keep that core work going all through class. Take a big breath, maybe challenge the balance by closing the eyes or looking up, or maybe coming onto tippity toes. Wherever you are, if you haven't fallen out naturally with the wind, come back and meet us in this standing posture. We're gonna even it out on the left side. So left knee is gonna bend, left foot stays flexed, and then grab for that left ankle with left hand and bring the heel of that foot to the inseam of right foot, either at thigh or shin or ankle. Choose one that works for you and that you can hold for a little while. And then before we move farther into the posture on this side, I'm seeing a lot of like wonky knees. Everyone try to pull your knee more open towards the left side of your space. Yes, yes. And from there, engage the glutes to tuck the tailbone under. Yes, and then pull the knee open again. Yes, amazing form. Super strong tree trunk of a leg. And then from here, you can extend the branches up, your arms up and open, really stretching through the fingertips. Maybe rotate pinkies in to relax the shoulders down and away, just like we did in Warrior. You can use that same adjustment here. If you're a big tensions in the shoulders person, I see you, I feel you. This is like magic all through the day. I'm always like, pinkies rotate in, shoulders relax down. Amazing. One more big breath to challenge balance, either looking up towards the sky, closing eyes, or coming up onto tippity toes. Maybe all three. Exhale, release, come back down. Awesome. From here, inhale, arms up, biceps by the ears, look up, maybe a little bit back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the palms, step the feet back, and pause, upper push-up plank position. We're gonna do some yogi push-ups. So if that sounds like hell to you, you're always welcome to bring knees down, take the push-ups with the knees down, build the alignment there, get that straight, and then pretty soon you'll be doing them with knees up in no time. Make your choice now. Otherwise, we're in this upper push-up plank. We've been holding it. It's a little bit of core work before we set it up. Make sure fingertips are spread super wide on the mat. Make sure heels are pressing back towards the back of your space so that the inseam of your legs lights up. Push up and out of your palms. And then as we exhale, we're coming down halfway and we're hovering. Hovering there for 3, 2, 1. Exhale to push up. Inhale at the top. And then exhale, come down halfway. Hovering there for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, push up. Inhale at the top. Last one, coming down halfway. Hovering there for 3, 2, 1. Exhale to push up. And then from here, take a flow. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. And from here, pedal out your feet. It's one of the last downward facing dogs of class. So maybe check in, see how the hips feel after we just did that, that kind of modified lizard pose. I like to call it a chameleon pose because it's like chameleons always have the curled tail. And when we curve our head, like a curved tail, that's not an official name. That's just my name. And then from here, we're inhaling, right leg straight back. Go into a yoga studio and you say, hey, I want to do that chameleon pose. The yoga teacher is going to think that you're whack. But bring that right knee out super wide, wider than the wrist. But we have all of these poses that aren't like quote unquote traditional, that have evolved from yoga. And then people just name them whatever they want. So that one has a bunch of names. But I'm trying to rebrand it, chameleon pose. From here, we're moving into half pigeon pose, right side. When everyone's muted on the video, I just end up talking to myself forever. I know, it's just me. Right knee out super wide, back leg kicks straight back. Check back, look over your shoulder, see if that leg is straight back or if it's slayed to one side or the other. Try to drag it so it's straight back, square the hips towards the front of your space. Inhale there, and then exhale to fold over, maybe bringing forearms or head down to the mat. Make sure that front foot stays flexed to protect the knee. If you feel any pain or pressure in this posture, you're gonna come out of it. If you're feeling good in this posture, stick with it. Hips are the largest joint in the body. They take a while to open up. I say that a lot because it's true every single time. So we're gonna stick with this pigeon for a little while, but if it's not feeling good for you for whatever reason, or if you just wanna try something a little bit different, we've got the option for a figure four, a reclined figure four pose. So you're gonna come down to your back, and then you're gonna bring your feet down to the ground, knees point up towards the sky. You're gonna cross your right ankle across your left knee. You're gonna flex a lot through that right foot. And then you're gonna reach between your legs with your right hand and around your left thigh with your left hand to interlace the fingers underneath left thigh. And then you're gonna pull that left knee in towards your chest, using right elbow to press right thigh open towards the side. Inhaling and exhaling to keep pulling that left thigh in closer to your heart space. Whichever version you're in, you're gonna take about 3 more breaths. If you're in that traditional half pigeon, maybe trying to come down a little deeper right here at the end. And then you've got about 3 breaths to transition out of it and move into the other side. So if you're on your back in that figure 4 pose, you're welcome to stay there. But if you're in the half pigeon, maybe you come up, get a little back bend in, and then press up by tucking back toes and kicking back into downward facing dog before switching over to the other side. Sorry, I'm on a hill today, and we started to swim out of frame. From here, we're moving into half pigeon, left side, left feet are flexed. The half pigeon pose gets more challenging the more parallel your front shin is to the top of the mat. So maybe toe heel that foot towards the top of your mat. Eventually, when you have that parallel shin, you're gonna find it's a lot, it gets a lot, yeah. People are like, yeah, I feel it now. Yes, I love that. That's my favorite look. The yeah, I feel it now look. From here, inhale, nice long spine, and then exhale, forward fold. Bringing elbows down to the mat, or if you're in that figure 4, you've just switched sides. And then pigeon pose is one of those postures where you get into it and you're so excited that like class is slowing down and you don't have to use, your leg muscles to hold your whole body up anymore. It's like this initial wave of relief as soon as you get into half pigeon pose. And then like 30, 40 seconds in, 5, 6 breaths in, all of a sudden it's like you have this crazy urge, especially if you're me. So maybe not everyone, but I feel like I've talked to a lot of people, you get this like urge to like move and fidget or like rock your hips a little bit to take the pressure out of the IT band area that we're stretching so intensely in this posture. And unless it's pain, like injury pain, which definitely come out of it right away, if it's just that kind of like nagging fidget urge, try to take 3 or 4 or 5 breaths to just sit with it and see if it passes. See if it's like the urge to sneeze that sometimes it's there and sometimes it goes away. Find like 9 times out of 10 it goes away. And then the 10th time, I'm like just like scratching some itch that's impossible. Impossible to let go. And so just be honest and kind with yourself. Take some deep breaths, send them into the part of your body that's feeling tense right now. And inhale nice and full. Really imagine that air getting focused around that part of your muscles. And exhale, rinse that tension out of the body. Take 2 more deep breaths here. And then exhale, we're coming out of it slowly with control, tucking the back toes, taking the left leg back. From here, we're coming down to the mat on a count of 10. So we're in this upper push-up plank pose, and then slowly with control, we're coming down 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Heart is gonna touch down to the mat first before hips or forehead for 3, 2, 1, release. And then for today's class, you can just flip over onto your back, set up your Savasana. Set it up by first thanking yourself for making it to your mat today on this weekend when there's a million other things that we all could be doing. Take a few breaths here. just to thank yourself. You had a thought process that led you to your mat. You had a list of other things you might have done, and you put them all aside to make this time for yourself. And then from there, let it go and just relax down into your mat. I encourage you to take a nice long Savasana, and I will see everyone again tomorrow. Hello, welcome. We are live on Instagram and we just opened up the Zoom. Hello, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining in. If you're watching this live, hello, give a wave. Really appreciate everyone tuning in on this gorgeous, beautiful New England day. I've been complaining about rain for so long, and now we finally have sunshine. So that's what we're celebrating today. Today's class is going to be an awesome, fast-paced power flow, just kind of a all over back to basics. One of my favorite sequences to teach. So it's going to be a really, really nice balance to everything else we've been doing that's been a little bit more skills-based, a little bit more tuned in towards peak poses and advancing our practice. This is a nice, everybody enjoys